Hi Shimi, hi Rinton, hi Ali, hi Chetan, hi Dr. Jagadish, and hi Afsana. Welcome to the 29th day of High Performance Entrepreneurship Series. Dream big, aim high, start small. Start very small so that you can focus, you can build a discipline around, and you can master what you're doing. Once you do all of this, believe me, you're going to be a high performance entrepreneur. Today we are having Shabina. There is a small glitch on LinkedIn. She'll come back right now. Yeah, Shabina is back. So we are going to. She's going to tell us how to write a book. So Jasir, all of you know Jasir is my LinkedIn coach, and to take this session forward, I call Jasir. Jasir, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Kabir. It's nice to be back here again. It's like you said, day 29 of 100 Days High Performance Entrepreneur Series. It's been a wonderful journey so far. A lot of sessions, meeting a lot of people, a lot of connections, making a lot of new connections. It's been really, really wonderful. And I'd like to welcome all of you to this new session. And let me just remind you all to follow each other and connect with each other. It's a wonderful place to network and find new people to collaborate with. So let's welcome today's speaker, Shabina Zaidi. She is an engineer turned writer. She's also a soft skills trainer. She's the author of Revelations of a Millennial Mom, which was published earlier this year and launched at NBR Library in Dubai. Welcome, Shabina. Shabina, if you, can you hear us? Shabina, can you hear us?
I think there is a small
Sure.
glitch. Shabina will come back now.
Right. So today's session is about authoring books, and Shabina is yeah, she's back. Okay. So Shabina, I just mentioned that you're an engineer turned writer and a soft skills trainer, and you recently, launched your book Revelations of a Millennial Mom. And how did you get to start that?
Hello, Asir.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go
Kabir.
ahead.
Uh, Jasir, can you hear
Hi, can you
Shabina?
confirm? Am I audible?
Audible,
Yeah, yeah.
perfect.
Now it's good. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes. Hello, LinkedIn family. Thank you, Kabir, and thank you, Jasir, for inviting me to speak about how to write a book. So, and thank you for the introduction, Jasir. So, yes,
Welcome. Yeah. So how did you get to start this journey?
since I was already blogging and I was already writing stuff here and there. But there was a point in my life when I felt, it was during COVID, I felt that I should structure out my thoughts and write out a story, because I feel everybody, everyone listening to this audio event, you must be having a story. And that was similar with me. So, similar case with me. I had a story and I wanted to tell the story. So, that was the reason I wrote this book.
So, do you used to write when you were a student? Like,
Yes, I wrote, since I did my engineering, so I was not into much reading and writing that point of time when I was a student. I was studying, but later after my college, I think I had this inclination towards reading a lot, and I was a voracious reader. I as I said, that everybody has a story. So when I became a mom, the world around me changed, and I thought that, people don't generally speak about motherhood. They go through this phase, they pass through this phase, they have something in their mind, but they don't speak about. And that is why I began researching a lot about motherhood. And so, I I wanted to share my own thoughts regarding the change, the pattern, the ideologies, the society, and everything. So yes, that motivated me.
okay. So, what is the book all about? Is it tell us a bit about your book?
Yes, this this book, Revelations of a Millennial Mom. This book is about the emotions that a mother goes through. A mother is not always a mother. She was a girl at one point in time. She was a student. She was studying. She had ambitions for a career, and that one day defined that, her life changes, her psychological that changes. She is in the most vulnerable age, but still she has to take care of the life that she's created. And as a millennial girl, you have studied with you got an equal opportunity to study with boys. You played with them. You studied with them. You competed with them. But when it comes to motherhood, there comes gender roles becomes defined, and there's stereotypes related to motherhood, and because mom has to go,
Shabina,
father has to go.
I
I
think
mean, there's so many
hello.
changes which we see in society, and yeah, always compared. Yes.
Hi, Shabina. I think there is Jasser. Can you hear properly or?
Yeah, I know. I was getting the voice was like
Yes, yes.
I think that, like, there's some issue with the now it's okay, but like when you were speaking, there was like something. I don't know if that's something to do with your connection or LinkedIn.
No, it may be a LinkedIn buffer. So log out from the LinkedIn. Are you using from a browser? Then you can close the browser. Come in. We'll just wait for you. I think 1 minute. Then it'll. Else, when the buffer is coming, it is.
Yeah, and if you are using any other applications, like try closing them. Just this. Uh,
You
You
yeah,
asking
could
me?
just close the.
yeah, yes, Shabina, yes.
Should I leave and come back? Okay.
That'll be good. So I think the sound will clarity will come. Meanwhile,
So yeah,
let's welcome all other friends who have joined. Uh, Razia, happy to see you back after a long time. Binish, welcome back.
Is it fine?
Sakshi, yes. Yeah, let's start. Sorry.
right. Okay, like I was just asking you what like about the book, and I think a lot of what you said was covered. So if you can just quickly, go through that again.
Yes, Jasir. Am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah, you're audible now. It's clear.
Okay. So you were saying something?
Yeah, so I was
you are on mute, Jasir.
Yeah, so I just
So
was
yes,
asking you about the book. If you can quickly go through that, because when you spoke, the message was out covered. So, yeah.
yes. So yeah, the reason why I wrote this book, I was telling the reason why I wrote this book because I've written about the emotions that a mom goes through. Yeah, I hope I'm audible now. So, a girl, she metamorphoses herself into a woman the day she becomes a mother. But the society will take care of the kid, the child, and they forget that the day the child is born is the same day the mother is also born. So I've written majorly about the emotions that a mom goes through and about gender disparities, stereotypes of the society, and a lot many things in my book, which I understood as a mom, which I came to know as a mom, the experiences.
Wow. Yeah, that's really something interesting. And how did you feel when you launched the book?
When I launched my book, it was launched in Muhammad bin Rashid Library, and it was a dream come true because you know. Yeah, like I said, everybody is a storyteller. We all have stories, but we don't muster up enough courage to write, and sometimes we procrastinate. And at some point in time, I had thought that I'm going to write a book, but then I had thought that okay, sometime point in time when I grow old, but I didn't know that it is going to happen so soon. I mean, not so soon, but still in my 30s. But I'm so happy that I wrote my book. I took up that courage, and when I launched my book, it was just like a dream come true. And then it opened doors to many things. I've met really wonderful people because of the book. I've met so many authors, so many speakers, and really wonderful people. Yeah.
Yes, really wonderful to have that. Like, I've not written my own, but someday I wish I could, I would. And
Inshallah.
I think like writing your own book, it's like it helps you with a lot of things. I've seen most of the many entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, returning to book, writing what they have learned in their life along their journey. And I think that kind of helps you build your legacy and your show your thought leadership and build the connections beyond what they would otherwise have. And I think that's something entrepreneurs should look at from a very from the very beginning. Kabir, what's your thought about that?
Have
Yes,
start.
Jasir, absolutely. Because if you write a book, so I'll tell you about myself. When I wrote the book, the first message that I wrote on WhatsApp status was that I've delivered the third baby, and the book is like a baby. So I have two kids, and this book is my third baby, and it took me around 9 months to write and edit this book. So when somebody writes a book, you develop an authority in that field. So before you write a book, you should know what's your why. Why are you writing that book? And it's very important to know yourself, know for what is your audience, who's going to read that book, know that what is your genre going to be. And as Simon Sinek says, that know your why. So when you start writing down the book, I mean, as today's session is about, let's begin and how to write your very first book. So, should are we ready to go with this,
Yeah,
Jasir?
go ahead, go ahead. Just I was just warming you up. Go ahead.
So yes, so guys, grab your coffee or water, and let's dive in for today's session. That is, how would you write your very first book? And as I said, that everybody is a storyteller, and everybody who's listening to this audio event right now, I'm sure you have something to the world. You have story which is sticking up in your heart and in your brain. So pick up your pen and your paper, and I'm going to motivate you to write your very first book. So have clear thoughts about it, and secondly, choose your genre, because you have to choose whether this book is going to be a fiction, a romantic novel, a memoir, a non-fiction. What is it going to be about? Then you have to, like, whatever you do, you have to research. So yes, I researched a lot about this. About when I was writing, I read lot many research papers. And when you write a book, as I said, you develop an authority to write. So a few days back, I was delivering a talk, and I said that not so much research has not been done related to matrescence as it has been done related to adolescence, since my book is about motherhood. And when I said that statement, there was a lady who was associated with research. She grabbed my hand, she took me aside, and she said, you have given me a thought for my next research. And I've just Googled and I just realized that yes, not the amount of research which should be done related to matrescence is about the transformation of a mother. Okay. So, yes, so that was related to my book. So I said, you develop an authority in the book. So you have to research a lot, read a lot if you write a book. Now, when I started writing a book, I was not reading about motherhood, not at all, because I was reading about soft skills, I was reading about time management, productivity, self help books. Then, when I sat down to write my own book, I thought, yes, I have ideas, but I didn't have thoughts to back up those ideas, and I needed to read a lot. And then I started reading about motherhood, about parenting, about emotions that a mom goes through. Now, most important, I've asked you to grab your pen and paper. It is to create and write sections. I won't tell you to write chapters and sections. The very first thing that you would need to write down is you need a clear single paper, A4 sheet paper, a blank paper, and a pencil or a pen, and just create a circle in the middle of the paper. A circle, a bubble, a rectangle, a square, anything, a box. Just create a box in the middle of the paper and write down what your heart sings. What is that story you want to the world? Just write down that single point. So when I was looking through the notes which I had prepared while writing my book, how was the mind map which I created? I wrote my entire book on that single paper. I still have that paper, and I wrote my entire book on that single paper, and that's what I'm going to tell you now. Write that single point which you would want to discuss about. Now, I didn't have any idea about the title. I didn't have any idea about how my book is going to look like, but I knew that I wanted to discuss about the mental health of new mothers, and that is how I wrote it in the middle. And then there will be bubbles which will speak about the other things that you want to write related to it. And then successively there will be more bubbles. I hope you understand. So when I wrote, it was mental health of new mothers, and then I narrowed it down to various aspects. Like, I wanted to speak about comparison, I wanted to speak about problems, research, what people would say about new mothers, because new mothers are always compared with traditional counterparts, with other mothers, with the celebrity moms and all that. So I wanted to the aspects which I wanted to write about. I I made a list of all that on that one single paper, and the whole idea of the book was there. So the outline. Fifth point is to maintain a writing routine. Jumping over the bed, but I knew that I had to write for 2 hours. Made it time. I didn't go out with my husband. Wanted, because I mom, and I wanted to the
Hi, Sabina, if we're losing you again.
and people think that you have to be a perfectionist. Don't be a perfectionist to write it.
Shabina, we're losing you again. I
Yeah.
think you might have
Is it
to.
audible now?
Yeah, yeah, it's okay now.
Okay.
No, I think you
It's
have
fine.
to close your browser once and come back because it
Okay.
must be because of the cache. It happens with it. So close your full this will wait. So meanwhile,
So,
I'll tell you one story what I was trying to write a book. So this, yeah, Shibina came back. Okay. Shibina?
yeah, Shabina, if you
Yes.
can.
Am I
Right,
audible
right.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, I was speaking about the outline. So you have it is similar to brain dump. So just dump your brain in single paper, and it's like you have to mind dump on that, and that is how you are going to create your ideas. So as I said, that don't be a perfectionist. When I was writing, I was not thinking about editing. Don't think about editing. Just write, and you should have those flow of thoughts. And I have seen that when you work on something, your neurons will work in a way that you will generate thoughts related to it. At this point of time, you might think that you don't have ideas, but the moment you sit down to write, that particular time you will have thoughts. Read a lot, and then you can generate your thoughts. And there's one more thing which I wanted to discuss, which is very important, that don't start with a title. If you start with a title, that is the mistake which I did. I started with a title in my head. The title was already in my mind, and when I was done with the book, for like 30% done with the book, I realized that this title is not going with the theme or with the thoughts that my mind has taken me towards. And then I had to make certain changes. So I would recommend, don't start with the title. And then when I wrote my book, towards the end of the book, this title automatically it came to my mind, and I feel this is the best title this book could have deserved. So, as I said, that don't start with the title; it will automatically come. You can later create it, but then just have a flow of thoughts and have maintain a writing routine. Once you have maintained a writing routine and you bring your brain into those sections, into those chapters, later you can always edit it. You can always edit the thoughts, edit whatever you have written, because editing is going to take a lot of time. But the key point is to write and keep writing. For editing, you can always hire a professional to edit. I myself edited my book for 3 or 4 times, and then I hired a professional editor as well, because you know your book and you've gone through it. It's like you've spent time with the book. And then you can always go for self-publishing your books, or self-publishing, or going for a traditional publisher. You can ask for a traditional, you can do like Kindle, KDP. You can go for KDP. I went to the traditional publisher to publish my book. And lastly, you can always market your book. You should market your book. You should go to book signing events. You should go to, you should use this social media handle. You should go to authors meet. uh, so because of this book, I've been invited to various events to speak about my book, and I've met really amazing people in this journey. So yes, that's my story. And I think you can always be creative with your book. So if you read a lot, you will come to know that you'll get ideas. For example, I was reading one of the books, and that book was food at all, but the titles in the book were the titles were about food. And so if the titles about food, you would think that it's a recipe, but why can't I include those? So I am a Rajasthani and I'm a food lover. So even some titles in my book are Dunkin' Donuts. It's like maple syrup and cheese. So these are not, they are not discussing the food. but during the story they have some element of that food item, and that makes it very fascinating and creative. So you can always be creative with your book. I've included the pictures which my kids used to draw when they were in kindergarten. So each chapter in my book starts with a picture, because I think that is the best way to preserve those pictures. So if you just pen down, if you just start writing your book, you will come up with these creative ideas. So all the best to you, whoever is planning to write this book. And I'm sure the methodology which I've told you, write down that methodology that which I've told you, to just write one title in the center about what your heart sings, and then arrow it down and narrow it down to what all you want to write about. I'm sure that once when you are done, and just make it, just do it today. It's such a simple to write your entire book on one single page. That will give you a motivation to write your entire book of 250 pages or 200 pages, whatever you want to. So start with it, break down your work into simple chunks, and write your book in one single page. Start writing your book with one single page, and then you can always throw in your thoughts. You can always dump your brain, and you'll feel so happy, because you are leaving your legacy if you write a book, and that is going to be there for the lifetime. You will be known for your book. So yes, that is from me.
Thank you so much, Shavina. That was yeah, you like the entire process there for us. Thank you so much for explaining all the steps involved, right from writing the first concept, from writing the concept all the way till publishing and marketing. And so many steps involved and all that. I just have a few couple of questions before I open. People to join us. So whoever wants to come up, please raise your hand. Kabir will bring you up. Please share your thoughts and ask questions if you have. My questions are like, what is the easiest part?
What is the easiest part? The easiest part is reading, but read with a writer's mindset. Don't read it with a reader's mindset. Read with a writer's mindset, so that you will know what is the tone, what is the voice, how the characters are playing in the book, and what is the usage of the language, how do you write the hook in the statement and all that. So yes, that is the easiest part and the most important part too.
And the hardest one?
The hardest one is editing, because you've spent time with the book and you just don't feel like uh, you know deleting some part. But then you can't just put everything into the book. You've spent time like, I've done maybe 3 chapters, but I think that no, these chapters are not matching, they're not going with the theme now. So you have to delete it, but you've spent time writing it, and so yes, the last part is the hardest part.
Yeah, that's a really hard. I mean, to write it and then not include it, right? How do you deal with it?
Yes,
And just yeah, and let me invite. I think Sakshi came up first. So Sakshi, welcome to the panel. Um, Share your thoughts, or if you have any questions, please feel free.
Sure. Thanks, Jasir. Thank Kabir. So, hello, Shabina. Hope you're doing good. Uh, First of all, it was just great to
I
hear you
see. Okay.
the whole journey of your writing process, and especially
Yes.
the name of the book, which is Revelation of a Millennial Mother. And Okay, so my question is like throughout your writing process, what are the main obstacles that you face? Like editing is one because you have written your whole book and then you feel like you don't feel like deleting any part of it. So that is one thing. But apart from it, what are the obstacles like that you faced while writing a book? I've never written a book or something where it's like we do write content. We are content creators on LinkedIn, so we do have some obstacles. So just want to know what obstacles have you faced while writing a book?
Yes, Sakshi, thank you for this question. Hope you're doing good as well. Yes, it is the consistency that you maintain. It's very difficult to maintain the consistency. As I said, that I am a mom of small kids, and they would be shouting and hollering around in the house. But I wanted to write the book, and I wanted to finish it because I didn't want to take 15 years into writing. I wanted to finish it on time. So my younger one, when she used to go to the nursery, and she would go only for 3 hours. So I wanted to utilize that time so that I could write distraction free. On weekends, however, I would write with them, along with them. But I would say that those 3 hours I would utilize, and there was a long period in time when I used to eat just oats and milk for my lunch because I didn't want to spend time in cooking, and that time I didn't have a house help. So I would just eat oats and milk so that I could save time and write. So yes, I think maintaining consistency is also very difficult part.
Thank
Right.
you, Jay.
So, yeah. So, when you do that, like, how important was support in the family? Like, and how did you and your husband manage that? Like,
Yeah, support is so much important, and the time when my book was launched, uh, all the praises went to my husband because of the support that he gave me. So yes, he was being very supportive, and there were times when I was busy with editing, and there were long hours which I had to spend with my laptop. He would take care of the kids a lot many times, and they would go out. I mean, I was not going out because it's a long process. It's a strenuous process, obviously, and you have to give your time to it. So he realized, and as I said, that we would for the entire time we didn't go out for fine dining, and we were not going out as a family. So yes, that was the sacrifice my family had made, but that culminated into a greater result. I had transformed myself, and I think writing a book has been a great motivation for me to move ahead.
right. Dr. Jagdish, welcome. Dr. Jagdish, if you are there, please. I think he is not able to hear us. We'll come back to him. Razia.
Thank you, Jesse. And Sabina, it was such a pleasure hearing you. Actually, I've been watching you, observing you, and really applauding for you through all the social media platforms. And today, hearing you is really, really incredible experience. So, I have a lovely question for you because you told me for you, uh, editing was the most difficult part, right? But for me, I believe ideation is the most difficult part. I have 4 or 5 very strong ideas, and I really want to write a book on those. But then I cannot focus on which idea should be the most useful one or the best one in terms of people liking it. So, can you just throw some light on how should I focus on choosing one really top-notch idea that clinks and clicks with my audience?
Thank you, Razia. I think, and thank you for your wonderful words for me. And I've been following you on social media as well. I think we are also connected to Toastmasters. So,
Right, right.
yes, yeah. So about the idea, yes, now when I think about my second book, I am not able to niche down what should I write about because there are so many ideas, as you said. But something which helps you is because I wrote my first book because I was strongly feeling for these, and I just wanted to raise my voice for what's happening, what has happened, and the comparisons and everything. I just wanted to write about it, so I was headstrong to write about this. But now I think I'm in the same boat as you are. So what I do is, although I haven't yet tried to niche down, because I also have so many ideas running in my mind, something which works as I implement this, because after writing my book, I need something to dump my brain. It was not a brain dump, but still, I to be in the habit of writing, I started journaling, and I have realized that every day for 10 minutes when I journal in the morning, there are so many thoughts which are going on in my mind. It brings clarity to my mind. So journaling really helps, and the other thing is something, as I said in the starting, something which makes your heart sing. So you have to find out what makes your heart sing. And even if you don't have an idea, just write for say for 5 minutes. Just write every day for 5 minutes, and eventually you will know that what is that which you can continue. As I said in the starting, that I wrote with a title in my mind, so that title was entirely different from this title, and that theme was entirely different. So I had already written 30% of my book, and then I realized, no, this is not the message that I would want to give, and then I had to change everything. So even if because you see, if people say that they don't have a passion, how to find out their passion? How will you find out your passion if you don't work towards it? Once you start working towards it, you will realize that this is something you don't want to work towards, this is something you want to work towards. So that is the same with writing as well. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, you definitely explained it so passionately. I have one more question to it. Is that what is your strategy when you plan out the chapters? Right? Do you think a story behind it, your own experience, and then you
Yeah,
explain the point?
yeah. Razia, can I come back to you after the next? Like we have got
Oh, sure,
Jagdish and Fatima.
sure,
Just
sure.
I'll
ഒരു
come back
മെസ്സേജ്
to you.
എടുത്തത്
All right.
ആ
So
മെസ്സേജ്
Okay.
ഒന്ന് മറക്കുന്നു അതുകൊണ്ടാണ്
Fatima, Kabir, you're on. Please mute if you're.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Very good evening to everyone. Very happy to listen this with Shabina Zaidi ma'am. Actually, I have a one small question. How much duration you have taken to complete this book?
Hello, Fatima. Thank you for your question. You're doing well. It took me around 9 months to write the book and edit. So
To
because I was writing for a good period of time. Sometimes I would write for the entire day. I mean,
okay.
not the entire day, but yes, 5 hours.
Oh, so to
Sometimes
write a book
5 hours
for
because
9 months
I
for
had to keep
editing?
it. Yes.
Hello.
Um,
Yeah, couldn't
yeah, I
hear
think
that.
Shabina, we missed you in the last
I'm not
bit.
audible, Fatima. Yeah. Yes. So I was saying that it took me around 9 months to write my book. 9 to 10 months.
For editing?
uh, Editing, sorry for my voice. Editing could took like 3 months for editing and 6 months for writing.
Oh, great, great to hear. Have you gone for any crash course like that? How to write a book or how to editing a book like that? Mm.
No, I didn't go for any crash course for editing my book or something.
So you
I
did
did.
it on your own. Okay, thank you so much. Very much inspiring.
Thank you, Fatima. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Right. Um, Dr. Jagdish, if you're back, please go ahead.
സർ
Sir, my voice is audible, sir. So,
Yeah, you're audible. There are glitches today, but you're audible.
actually, very passionate about this book. Sabina Madam wrote Revolutions of Millennium, Millennium Mom. Actually, my question is, for writing the book, first thing is to be idea is required. But here there are so many books are already done, already arrival. So presently, which book is which story, which idea is required to write towards the present societal problems or present arena? Can you suggest me the new ideas to be driven for a present society? Can you give the idea, madam? Any idea? Any
Hello,
tagline?
Dr. Jagdi. Good evening. Thank you for your question. I think I'm not able to analyze your question, but then something which I've understood is you need topics. You are asking for topics to write in the
Yes, madam.
present,
Yes,
yes, in
madam.
the present society. Okay. So, as I said, something which you feel strongly for. What do you feel? I feel there is, as a mother, when I wrote this book, when I was writing this book, I felt there is still gender disparity. There's so many stereotypes. There is a comparison between the traditional mothers, between the present day moms, and we are in a separate. If we look at a Maslow's law of the hierarchy of needs, we are this generation of moms, they are in the self actualization mode, and their deficiency needs have already been met. So these were the things which I was thinking about. Definitely you have a story, you must be thinking about something in the society. Maybe you are thinking about gender disparity, or maybe you are thinking about I don't know your professional background, but I can see that you are an associate professor. So whatever you would want to create your niche in, or you and something that I've realized is that when you read a lot, you will generate ideas, because if you have a lot many thoughts, you will amalgamate your thoughts to it, and there will be newer thoughts which are going to form, and you will get ideas to write. So the paramount something of paramount importance is to read a lot, because when you read a lot, you will come up with the ideas. And in today's society, I think there is a lot more to write. You can write about productivity, you can write about time management for youngsters, you can write about screen timings. I mean, whatever, because you have to decide what your niche is and what is your audience is. Only then you can finalize what is the topic that you are going to write about, because you have to find why you are writing, and you have to find about who's going to read your book. For me, I wanted to write for mothers. So my audience was moms, present day moms. And why? What was my why to write this book? Was because I wanted to challenge those stereotypes, and I wanted to discuss about things which moms they undergo, but they don't speak up, they don't discuss, and this just becomes a pass. So this was my why. So you strongly have to find your why, and you have to find out who your audience is, and what your tone, what your voice of a book is going to be about, and what is your niche you're working on. So I think when you make these together, when you amalgamate all these things together, I'm sure that you're definitely going to find out what you are going to write about. I hope that answers your question, Dr. Jagdish.
Madam, excellent, madam. Actually, I am a computer science graduate. Even I wrote many technical books regarding Python language and steganography. These are my related books, madam. Actually, I published the journals, madam, towards the computer science. So
Okay.
I'm always reading the newspapers, Hindu newspaper and all India related. Yeah. So am very much disappointed about the current trends and the current society. So I felt that to write any book that is to be apt to the current generation, that is apt to the current scenarios. That means it gives a strong feeling to the society who regenerate their skills as well as regenerate their ideas. So you already scored that amalgamation of ideas. So
Yes.
that's why I'm asking them. Thank you for your excellent
Thank
information.
you.
Thank you.
You can connect with
Thank
me for
you.
more details.
Sure. We have Ranjit Debru here and Amin. Ranjit, welcome. Go ahead.
Yes, Jasser, thank you very much for allowing me to speak. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this event. I just had a little contribution to make because I think Dr. Jagdish and the previous speaker had a similar question about how to write things that people find interesting. In my experience, there's no, I've never written a book. I must preface my contribution with that. I've never uh, come across a shortcut formula on how to write things that attract an audience beforehand. What I've found is that I jot down ideas about things I want to write about, and then I make an effort to expand on those ideas. And eventually, I work one of those ideas into a full article and I release it. And like this, you release 5, 10, 15, 20 articles, and that's how you find one or two things that resonate with people. The same experience has happened to me because I have been working in marketing for many years now. Sometimes beforehand, we design a product and we think that it's going to be a surefire winner. And then, boom, we put it out into the market and crickets, no response. So all our planning beforehand has actually, we've totally misread the market. Now, what has happened, what we found easier to do is to conduct small experiments that don't cost us much money, but yet the feedback, the response can give us a lead, can give us an idea about what the market is interested in. I think the same thing, I found a similar approach works when it comes to finding ideas that resonate with the audience. We just have to try several things. We have to cultivate a wide interest and put out as many things as possible. And eventually, you'll begin to see people that respond. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I guess the MVP of book writing. Um, we got Amin here. Amin, if you'd like to ask questions.
I would like, yeah, I would like to ask one question to Sabina Seji ma'am. If you are going to write a new book, and if you are not going to do major three mistakes that you are done in the previous book, what will be that problems that you are going to avoid? Is that clear?
Hi, Amin. Good evening. Can you repeat your question? It
Good,
was
ma'am.
not.
Yeah, if you are going to not repeat three major issues you have done in the previous book, what will be that three major issues, major problems that you are going to avoid?
Okay, thank you. So yes, okay, three issues. First of all, as I said, that I started with the title. So in my next book, I'm not going to start with the title. I'm going to start with thoughts. Secondly, about editing. So you have this tendency of being a perfectionist. So while you are writing, you spend so much time editing. That was something which I was doing. I was writing and I was editing, but later I realized that when you are in your flow state, you have so many ideas which are occurring in your brain and you want to write, but then you create an obstruction by editing it. So this is the mistake that I'm not going to repeat. I will just write down and I will wait for editing later. And the third part is uh, I'm in this process, marketing your book well. So I'm sorry, I'm already doing it, and for my next book as well, I'm going to go to more author signing events and going to talk about the book more, because when I was writing, I didn't tell anybody that I was writing a book. However, if you tell people and if you discuss with them, it's a good idea because you get to know their thoughts. So I was researching, I was reading, but I was not discussing this with people. So it's a good idea that whatever you're writing, you when you discuss with people, you generate more ideas, you get more ideas. So yes, so these are the three mistakes that I would not want to repeat with my book. And Mr. Ranjit, thank you for your inputs as well, because it's very important to know what you are writing and is it going to appeal to the public. So I think that is a very valid point that you've raised. Apart from that, yes, one should, as I said, that one should talk to people and analyze that what do they like. So yes, I mean that is the part of the research as well. And marketing your book, having a good clear cover page, talking about your book, going to book signing events and all, it really helps to make you as a personal brand. So yes.
Thank you so much for sharing those insights. Kabir, you always mentioned about entrepreneurs needing to write their own books, build their legacy. I just wanted you to touch on that a bit before.
Yes, for entrepreneurs, I think it's very important to write down their thoughts, because that creates an authority and it develops them into a personal brand. Because as entrepreneur, you must be having you research your idea, and when you say that when you write something about it, you know that since you've researched about it, you know that you have some more information than the others, and it places you as as a brand in that niche. You get more visibility because of social media. You can talk about your event, you can talk about your book, and in turn you can talk about your brand or whatever you are doing as an entrepreneur. You have more space to talk about that. And with this book, I think if you write a book, you will be attracted towards, I mean, people will attract you to in your field, in your circle, and you will be better placed to be attracted towards whatever you are I hope you understand whatever you want, you intend to give out to the public. So I think it's very important for thoughts related to the niche that they are working in.
Definitely. Razia, you had one more question. Just
Yeah.
if you're there.
Thank you, Jasir. Yes, I'm here. And yeah, I resonate with the points stated by Ranjit, and that's what I was asking Shabina also. That's something which clicks to the audience. That is what we should be writing about. However, Shabina, I want to understand your strategy of putting up chapters. Like, do you think about a personal story first and put the concept, or it's vice versa? So just let me know how I can put up the respective chapter and what should be the thought process of each chapter and the title to it.
Hi, Razia. So yes, as per the titles and as per the chapter numbers, I think these should be in the chronological order of your thoughts. When I started writing my book, because as I said that I was already blogging, so earlier I had thought that I'll write only about my blogs. I didn't have this idea that I would write my entire book. But later I realized that these blogs, whatever I've written, they don't make a connection. And then I realized that I have to make a connection. I have to start in a chronological order. So I started writing in that manner. since this book is a memoir, later it became a memoir. Earlier it was not a memoir, as I said that I had written a 30% of my book. So since it's a memoir, so it's easier to be in a chronological order. But if it is not a memoir and you are just writing your thoughts about maybe it is a non-fiction. If it is a fiction, you understand that it has to be in a certain way, right? Because the story is plotted that way. But if it is a non-fiction, I think it should start with the thoughts. It should start with a connection. It should start with a hook, and how you can develop it into further chapters, further stories, and then each chapter should end with a hook, so that the reader is interested into starting another chapter. Now, as per the titles, you can follow a certain rule. You can, don't write, as I said, don't write with a title in your mind. Just write down your thoughts and then make it into sections. Now, when the sections are ready, you can always, cut out in forms of small chapters. If the chapters are smaller, it becomes easier for the readers it becomes engaging for the readers to read. But if they're larger chapters, and the readers are demotivated to read. So yes, that way. And as I said, the names of the chapters, uh, once when you've written those chapters, you can follow any, like I said, that I have written the names of the chapters in form of the food items, although they don't I haven't explained the recipes or anything about the food. But you can write anything very catchy. So why I wrote about food, because I have explained something about food. Maybe there is an incident related to that food item, and but that has made the titles very interesting and very very catchy. So and sometimes in my book there are also Hindi titles. I mean, the titles are in Hindi. So as I know that my readers are from India or Pakistan, and they are Asians, so they will understand this. So I mean, you can always be creative with your titles.
Thank you
Wow,
so
that's so
much.
interesting. Thank you so much, Veena. Thank you.
We have Ali here. Probably last question. Ali, very quickly, your question.
Okay, thank you. Very quickly, I want to ask that I want to write a book about my father, who was a war veteran, my late father, and it was about his life and how he looked at things. So, can somebody help me write the book? Because I definitely cannot write. If you don't know how to swim, you just stay out of the pool. I don't have the time, I don't have the luxury of time to learn how to write. So, is there a possibility that someone can help me and, stay in touch with me, interview me, and then write the book? And obviously, the commercial part, whatever you want to pay. Is that possible? Or am I just, you know, daydreaming?
Who wants to take that question? I think there are plenty of ghostwriters out there. The idea is that I think you need to have your story. Not the act, the whole the writing, but the story, the core concepts, the core things ready, and that's something that you have to work on. But getting it written, I think uh, that can be done. Shabina?
Yes, Ali, I was going to say the same thing. There are so many ghostwriters, and it's wonderful that you want to write about your father story, because there's so many stories we have in our mind and in our hearts, which we would want to tell the world. So yes, you can jot down the points which you would want to work upon, and you have to narrate that story, because your essence has to be there in the story. Even if somebody else is writing for you, your thoughts, and you have to sit down and just speak out and record your voice at least, so that you will have those thoughts at one place, and then you can always hire a ghostwriter to write, because there are so many ghostwriters you can find on LinkedIn.
Everybody says, but I got ripped off once. I paid $500 to somebody and they never spoke back to me. So yeah, my confidence is kind of shaky when it comes to going find a regular ghostwriter.
So why don't you yourself write? I mean, that is going to be a moment of pride for you as well and for your family, because you would have written something for your father, and that is going to leave a legacy behind. Why don't you write your own thoughts and let the editor do the work? Hire a professional editor. He or she will do the work, but why don't you write your own thoughts? Because people are not looking for jargons or some heavy language. They are looking for the feelings and thoughts. So I don't think somebody else would have written it so beautifully as you've seen
You make a fair point. Thank you.
seen that you've been through it, and
I think we are losing you. Okay, I think it's time we close. I mean, we're so 1 minute past the time. Let me hand the mic back to Kabir. Um, yeah, Kabir.
But before that, would like to hear the parting note from Shabina.
yeah, thank you. It was so nice to engage with all the audience, and it was great to speak about my journey as a as a writer, and to speak with all the audience over here. And thank you, Kabir, and thank you, Jasir, for inviting me to this audio event. It was lovely to have.
Was welcome, welcome. It was a pleasure talking to you today. It was a great session. Kabir, back to you.
Thank you, Jasir. Ragesh, since today we out of time, tomorrow we'll bring you up. Uh, Sorry, I'm not bringing you up right now. So, thanks a lot, Shabina, for giving this wonderful session on how to write your first book. So, I'm a person I've like set on a lot of books and kept it there so that it goes half and way. So, this year starting in LinkedIn, I had announced I'm writing Miracles in Failures. It's a series of writing. So, the first part I started writing and then I started doing a video of it. And almost every chapter I finished in video and I kept the. So still now not in papers. So now I have to talk to Shabina after this. So how we do it with entrepreneurs, usually in our campus. So I run a cohort with 10 startups every year. I take the niche out of them and we do a 3 months cohort. And after that, it's a 10 years dream to IPO. It's the longest cohort, which I know. So in this, one skill which we make them do is daily make them write their contents, and gradually they are given a coach to write books. So this helps in lot of angles. Their creativity, their it is like running a marathon. Bit by bit you go and you finish a book. So this reminds me of one of my client. Like I was doing a whole marketing for him, so I had to do his website. So I had a digital agency long before. In this was somewhere around 2007 to 2010, in between that. So he comes up with a book, and it was we had a discussion. So I asked him, in future, what do you see in this book? Like, how is the growth? Then he answers to me, everything has its own life. Same, it is with the book, and I don't care how much popular the book is going to be, but I have done my part. So after that, he has won few of the prestigious awards, like from Kerala, and he was an mechanical engineer, and he travels in the for the ship. So that's one thing. It's a very good skill, and always daily morning, if you have time, keep it 10 minutes to 15 minutes for writing down. And if you have a book in mind, like Shabina told, it give you good clarity. And believe me, don't look for perfection. Start very small, so that end of a month you have sometimes a chapter, sometimes after a few months you have a whole book with you. then you can refine it. You can talk to people. You get a lot of people to help you out. There are a lot of forums. So, telling this, we are 5 minutes late today. There was a lot of glitches, but that's how the startup journey works. It's not always perfect. It's not, the road is not always on a same plane. Ups and downs can come in. So, as I always tell, dream big, aim high, start small. Start very small so that you can easily focus on it and you can build a discipline around it and you can master it. And once you do all these three, you're going to be a high performance entrepreneur and you're going to impact this world. So, a dreamer from this part of the world, signing off, PC Kabir. In the count of three, we are closing the room. Everyone can tell bye bye. Three, two, one.